Howdy friends, my name is Bernardo Spaniel and welcome back to Edit With Me Monday. Today we're going to go through a picture that I shot very recently with my absolute favorite crazy lens. It's a CYCLOP 85mm 1.4 lens. This is an old Russian night vision scope for a gun that has been repurposed into a camera lens. And as you can see here, the bokeh, the background blur you get from this is bonkers. Now, this is the edited pic already, and honestly, sometimes this can just take some bangers right out of the camera, and this was one of those cases, but I wanted to go a little extra with it. So let's do the before and after. So as you can see, the before still was pretty damn awesome. I just upped the contrast a bit on Jazz and I played with the color. But I figured, instead of just going out there and doing like these big long edit videos, let's just do something short, quick, and fun. And the other thing is, so far I've been kind of doing a little bit of realistic stuff, well, besides the Warhammer Mini. But a lot of what's fun in photography is taking photos and just having a little bit of fun with it, make things a little bit extra, and just embellishing what's awesome there. And this is a good example of that. So, most of this is going to be done with my absolute favorite tool, the masking tool here. Let's hit Y again, close this out. And as you can see here, basically around 5 steps, a few cleanup things, and we're done. So let's walk you through that now, okay? So first and foremost, let's undo all this progress. All right, so once again, this is straight out of camera. I shot this on my Sony a7 III. I did this on my CYCLOP lens. Now, an interesting thing about this lens is there's no color, there's no profile to like fix things in Lightroom. So there's no real point coming down here and trying to adjust things in lens correction, which is kind of fun. As far as I can see, you don't really need to do too much with this lens, so we're just going to leave all this as there. So let's start this up. As you can see, a lot of the work was done here. In our first mask, let's go here, linear gradient, and then you just start, you left click, and then pull, and you just drag it to where you want the change to stop happening. You can see here, trying to get it close enough to Jazz while not actually touching her, so I don't want any of this messing her up. Oftentimes with a lot of amateur photographers, you'd see them do some all over the screen edits without paying too much attention to their subject, and things get kind of wonky. So you could hit O to hide what you're doing now that we know where we're hitting. You can always move this later on. This is totally adjustable. You can make the change sharper, so let's see, the gradient to where it stops is closer, or you can space it out a bit more, so it's more of like a subtle change. So let's go here, and I kind of want that a bit further from her face. All right, so drop the blacks back there a little bit. We're gonna also push this over in the pinks a bit. With what Jazz was wearing, I kind of wanted to play with the pinks a bit more. If you hear some funny noises, my cats just got up, so they're probably going to be adorably annoying. We're going to up the saturation here quite a bit. Oh yeah, get trippy. Okay. Now, what else can we do to this? Well, let's play with that texture. Oh, yeah. Dun, dun, dun. I think we're going to unblue this a little bit. Let's just, there we go. Now this is a little more extra than what I did when I first edited it, but you know what? Oh, that's kind of fun there too. Yeah, all right. So we're going a little off the rails from my original edit, but I'm okay with this. All right, so we're going to go to dehaze, negative. There we go. Alright, back to texture. So a big part of this is just feeling out where you feel comfortable with what you want from the shot. And if I forgot to say this in the beginning, but in the description section of the video, you're going to find a link to this raw file on Dropbox that you can get for free and do edits on this yourself, just so you can practice along or follow along if you wish. I never remember to say that at the start of the video. That's, yeah. Play around with things. I'm getting like a starry night in the day kind of vibe with this, and I'm okay with that. All right. Okay. So, what's next? We'll do a new mask. We'll do a radial gradient now. So with this one, we're going to work on jazz. Turn this around here. Oh, no, we don't want that one bigger. So let me explain the radial gradient part of this real quick. What's in the first circle is going to get the most edits. Like 100% of whatever I do is going to show here. The second circle is going to be a slow feathering of the effect, so the changes don't look so harsh to the viewer. Now you can expand your circles like this. So now, there we go. You could also adjust your feather to be stronger or lighter. They made a slightly bigger feather to it. Hit O. Now we're gonna drop the highlights a bit on her, because funny enough, I kind of want her looking pretty realistic in this. And this is a weird, almost blue hour sort of time, so I'm gonna put the temperature just a scotch that way. Drop the blacks on her a bit. Now, one thing, if you drop the blacks too much in an image on Instagram, it's just basically like a black mush. So depending on where you want to post this, just be careful with that. Now let's go here a little bit. Up to sharpness quite a bit. Don't worry, we're going to edit this. Make sure her face doesn't look weird with being too sharp. All right. That looks cool to me. Just slowly adjusting things here. All right, let's do another one. So here we're going to select subject. And I want to do most of Jasmine, just not all of her. And now we're going to subtract what I don't want to edit here. And this is where it's going to take a little bit of time. So be patient and you get it right. So all these edits I'm going to do now, I want to adjust her to her outfit, her hair, and her glasses. But I don't want to do the skin because trust me, it will look bad. Actually, let's do the fun thing. Let's undo that. Let's do all the edits, including showing the skin, to show you why you wanna, if you're gonna aim your edits at the body and the hair and the outfit, you don't wanna have the skin on, but you can always differentiate and separate later. So this is actually sometimes a good idea too, to help you just like clean up later on to what really needs to work. So as of right now, she's entirely covered up. Now let's get to some edits. We're gonna up the texture. And as you can see, that is doing a horrible disservice to her skin. But it's making the texture in like her hair and her clothing come out more, and that's what we want here, because I want both sides of the picture to be very interesting with detail. And the background already has all this with lots of details you can get lost in, but you know, you can get lost in the details here as well. So there's that. Let's bring the texture, let's up the clarity a bit. And again, you can see that just like damage that is doing on her face. Okay. I'm going to dehaze. Okay, I like that. Okay, so everything else looks good, but what I just did to her face was a travesty. So we're going to clean that up. So you go to the subtract tool, brush, and then magic. Look at that. Now this is again where you want to be really careful because you don't want to give her that where it's like, I don't know, I think this might be edited. Let's move on. New mask, linear gradient once again, and I wonder if you could figure out what I'm going to work on. If you guess the highlights up here, you'd be correct. So, kind of want that a little tight. There we go. All right, so here, let's press O so you can see what's going to happen. We're going to completely nuke the highlights. There we go. And that just makes the background a little more interesting. Actually, a lot more interesting in my opinion. All right. Now we're going to work on Jasmine's face. So she looks great, but we're just going to touch up a few things here. So first, we're just going to try to get this in frame properly. Let's fit it to 100. Perfect. Now, what do we want to do here? First, we'll make another mask, brush, and then we're going to slowly select where we want to soften and then soften a bit of her face. So I'm just going to speed through this. I'm just going to select what I want to do, and I'm going to fast forward just so you guys don't get bored of me doing this, all right? All right, now that I got everything selected that I wanted to, I'm just going to go to texture, just bring it back a little bit. All right, so 46, that's fine. Take a step back, it's a lot better. Now we're just gonna look for a few maybe problematic areas. Don't really need to do too much, we're just gonna go in a bit. All right, so go to this Band-Aid tool, click that, give it a feather. You don't want to do this without a feather, or else whatever you change is going to look kind of harsh. Now, the area that's going to be changed or cloned over is the inner circle. The outer circle is a slight feather that you'll see that'll help it transition so it doesn't look like a jarring circle or change in the spot that you're working with. So I'm just going to do that. Just knock a few of these out. All right, face has been flattened. This looks good to me. Now, what we're going to do is get this ready to export. So if you're going to do this for Instagram, 4x5, frame it however you want. I'm just going to have a bit of this edge in here. There you go. File, export. It's the final. Let's see, limit file size 1000K, resize to fit, 1350 pixels, resolution 240, sharpen for screen, amount high, insert whatever watermark you want. I usually do this for my cosplay stuff. I'm starting to second guess that, but I don't put watermarks in my portraits. Export. And we're done. Now for the thumbnail and feature image of this, what I'm going to do, let's see. So for the YouTube and Rumble thumbnail, I go 1280, select what I want it to be. There. Now for Rumble and YouTube, you need like a smaller file size for it to fit on there. So what I like to do is just export it with the normal settings I would do for Instagram. Sorry. Okay. export. And then for the end picture that comes for the credits part of the YouTube video, where I usually have the, what is it called, the other boxes where you can subscribe and check out other videos, I do usually a full export. So, and I do that 16:9, so export that, shut off limit file size, shut off resize, keep the sharpen, keep the rest of that, and then export, and then okay, so basically when this video is over, as you'll see in a little bit, at the end screen I want the sharpest, fullest possible image for that, and that's why I export it that way. Anywho, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like the content, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you really like our content, please, please, please support me on Patreon. It really helps. If you're interested, we're going to be back with this every Monday with new videos. As you could also stick around for cosplay interviews, a whole bunch of other fun stuff, board games, and whatever. Anywho, have a great day. Bye.